Good morning, Flosstube. It's Pam, stitching between the lines. Today is Thursday, looking at my calendar, June 29th, 2023. And this is a Flosstube about cross stitch. I'm here a day or two early because it's the 4th of July weekend here coming up. I'm going to move my lamp, right? Swing that out of the way. That's a nice thing about that kind of lamp is it swings like that, and I can put it over my sewing machine or over my ironing station behind me. But it looked weird poking into my head in the picture. So today we have a extra smoky day, and so it's dim and dull outside and a bit muggy and hot. Oh, actually, it's only hot in the house. It's 58 outside, but we can't open a window to let any cool air come in. So anyway, it smells like you've been at a campground and there's been campfires, which to us is an inconvenience. I am feeling sorry for the people who the wildfires are really affecting. Actual fires are affecting, not just the smoke. This is the first time in my lifetime, not today, but this summer, where we have been impacted by wildfire smoke. So it's interesting. We were in Missoula, Montana last year in May, in the outside, maybe an hour outside of there at a I don't know what to call it, resort kind of place. And I was talking to somebody about what summers were like there, because it was May. I don't know, let's go with May 15th, sometime in May. And it was snowing. So anyway, I was asking somebody who was not a native to the area what summers were like, and she said full of wildfire smoke. So that really kind of ruins their summers on a regular basis. So I try to imagine what that would be like to live in such a beautiful place where the vistas are gorgeous and have it be smoky. I feel like I'm angled funny, but there we are. We're in the stand that we're always in. We're on a box that's a little higher. Every time I have to just sort of look around for what will be suitable that day. So anyway, you get the bigger view of the quilt than me. So what have I been doing? I've been stitching. June was a mediocre stitching month. It was busy. May. Did I say May? I mean June. But I did finish some things. I know, right? I finished... I'm trying to think what was on WIPGO. Oh, I have it written right here. Excuse me. Oh, WIPGO. That's right. WIPGO was 2 draws that were the same thing. And they were Mermaids of the Deep. And I was up to the point where I needed to do the beading, which turned out to really be the beading, the Krynic, outlining, and then the occasional missed stitch or missed section. But Mermaids of the Deep, Mirabilia, is gorgeous, full of her bling. Let me see if I can get her all the way in. Oh my gosh. This took me until I finished it on Tuesday, the 27th. So she's got some serious bling. It's on a piece of fabric whose name... I'll have to put it right here. But I never knew who the dyer was. And it looks, in your picture, in your view, it looks darker than it really is. But anyway, Mermaids of the Deep, deep water. Deep water's pretty dark. So yeah, we got the cascading jewels and the hair with jewels and the mermaid's flesh, whatever, with jewels. And let me tell you, this tail, no joke. No joke how much beading went into that tail. This tail was much easier to do. She had a lot more beading than this gal. They're gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So I just used everything as called for. I had the bead pack, so I had all the charms and I had all the things and all the beads. And I've worked on this for, I'm going to say, about 6 years with lots of time of idleness. So I enjoyed it. It's gorgeous. I decided I was doing one mermaid only, and I studied them all and decided these were the ones I would do. And here we are. It is amazing. It weighs a lot. It's heavy, right? All those beads. So that was a finish. Let me carefully prop her back in her spot. And then I finished Tam's Creations hippocampus patchwork patches. Oh, how sad that I am so out of hippocampus in patches. There we go. Oh, that was a fun stitch. Again, color is sort of sad and sorry today because the light is so cruddy. But if I keep waiting, there won't be a video until who knows when, because busy tomorrow, and then it's the weekend, and it's a 4-day weekend here in the United States with lots of things going on, and probably never be home alone to videotape. So today it is, and I have a contractor coming. He was here all day yesterday, and he's coming back today. So we're having some electrical work done. Oh my Lord. Oh. Okay, you guys, can we do it? Nope. Mama duck with all her ducklings, babies, little babies just walked by my window. Oh my gosh, heading down to the lake. Oh, sorry, I wish I could have caught that. We've been having, aside from the duck, who doesn't usually come this far up in the yard, we've been having some wildlife adventures in our yard. We have a garden shed that sits out in what I want to call the front yard, because the yard with the lake is behind us. So some people call that the front yard, but the house look of a front door is the front yard out there. And it's a very pretty shed, matches the house. It's cute. But there's woodchucks that have burrowed down under, and we keep trying to block them off, but they just open up the doorway again. And so there's a woodchuck, and there's at least one young. We've only seen the one young. So those aren't even surprising wildlife. So across the road from us is a whole big field. I don't know, 5 acres up to the main road. And it got mowed 2 weeks ago and baled into hay and hauled away. And so that dislocated, I think, a variety of wildlife. So the other day I saw, there's bunnies. There's always bunnies. So there's bunnies that come in the yard and eat the clovers or whatever. So the bunnies, the woodchucks, and there's an outdoor cat. I don't know if it belongs to anybody. We've been seeing for several years. And there was a half-grown version of that exact same cat was in the yard the other day. And there was something in we have the field, we're all on a downward slope heading towards the lake. So the field water runs towards us. So there's an elaborate drain system, and it drains into this drainage area out by the road, and it looks pretty. It's got ornamental grass and some other growth, and then the drain cover is covered with a pretty wooden grill. It's very natural. It looks nice, and that catches the water, and then it runs it in a pipe all the way around the house and down out to the lake. So in that ornamental grass, which is like 5 feet tall, I saw what I can only think of as a mink. So mink in the ferret family, I don't want a mink in our yard. I don't. They can be pretty aggressive. But we have some friends up the road who have minks that come out of the woods and around their backyard. So I hope not. I hope that was just passing through. And then last night there was a possum in our side yard, like a good sized possum. What a creepy looking thing. And it went down the hole that leads into the where the woodchucks live. So I'm like, there's like a whole city under there, I think. I don't know. I don't want to know. Our neighbors, we have new neighbors next door, and they aren't here all the time, but when they are here, they have 2 dogs that are out in the yard. So if any of this wildlife used to spread into their yard, it's not anymore. The ducklings were cute. Those are way cute. And they're tiny. We've seen quite a few ducks and geese that are more grown than those. Those were tiny. So I couldn't count them, but there were a fair number. Usually on the lake. They don't necessarily, a whole dozen ducklings don't last the summer. Haven't seen any foxes, I don't think, yet this spring. In the spring, out in the field, but they'll come down and go by the water. We did catch on our camera that's out on the back patio down towards the lake. We did catch a deer walking up our yard. We don't know where he came from, except that they're over in the field. Did he walk around our house in the little narrow passageways to get to the lake, or did he swim across the lake? Because they do that, or swim from one point to the other along the lake, because they do swim. Sometimes somebody will capture a picture of one. So anyway, wildlife at Stitching Between the Lines house. I like some wildlife. I don't like others. There's others I could do without. Cat is most entertained. So anyway, there's all that. And anyway, so then there's stitching. So I showed you my two finishes and the whip code. No, I should show you whips. So I had additional whips. I'm going to bend down. This month, the Mermaids of the Deep. Let's see. Let's just admire her for another half second. I worked on her, and downstairs in our family room, there's a desk, like a built-in desk space that we don't use for anything. And I set up shop down there. So that's a good afternoon workplace, but not in the evening. And so in the evening, I needed some stitching in my regular stitching chair. So I pulled out one of my May Starts, which is this Disney self-portrait. And I spent, I think, a couple evenings on it. Just doing it on a piece of white even weave, count undetermined right here and now. And I worked on his red shorts and his legs. I had done his head and his upper body and arms. I think maybe I hadn't done this arm. I made a mistake in the shorts somewhere that I couldn't figure out, because everywhere I counted came out fine, so I'm not sure what the heck. I think there's 3 colors of red in there, so I don't know. It all worked out, I think. So it's cute. He's a cutie. It's fun to work on something bright colors. Let's go with that. I don't know. I think I do a lot of things that are kind of colorful. I dropped my bag, excuse me. It, of course, dropped upside down. So it came in a kit with all the threads that I had to sort and organize. And then I had to get out my DMC thread card to match up colors, because it really got hairy there for a minute. So I have them all on thread cards that I made from a deck of children's game cards. It was some kind of game that I punched and are cute for this purpose. I saw Brenda, Handwork Maniac, did that with a deck of cards, and so that made me think, ooh, that's cute. And cards are a little bit sturdier than some of the cardstock paper. These cards, not so much. I got them at the dollar store, but they were Mickey, so this seemed like the right place to use them. And then I also worked on, excuse me, while I move things around. What else did I work on? Oh, this one. I really hoped I would have this finished, but not. No such luck. This was another start in May. I started this in May. Started it in May. And my 5 starts in the month of May, which was shocking. This Rabbit's in the Round, and I had some floss that's Classic Colorworks. This one's still in the baggie. I ordered more. Classic Colorworks Cottage Garden, which was this pink and green sort of variegated. And I wanted to find something to do with it. And so I thought, ooh, this is cute. Reminds me of, we're having a baby girl soon. So I started that, and it's 1/1. I could have stitched this 3 times over, but as far as I got, I need to learn a little bit about how to manipulate the variegated. Well, that was part of the problem, is I only had one skein, and I thought I didn't dare start pilfering and cutting and messing the thread, then I wouldn't have enough. So that's why I bought some more. So this guy came out pretty stripy. I was a little bit more regimented with that one and that one, but I don't want them all to be just solid color. There's a pretty big one that goes over here that I will try a different method of manipulating the variegated. Because it's not just variegated pink, light pink, dark pink, whatever. It's green and pink. So, and there's not a lot of green. So my next skein, let's see, that I just showed you, might have a bit more green. Or that could be an illusion because it's in that little baggie. So hopefully I will keep going on that. I thought I'll work on that every Monday evening. And this past Monday I did not. So I can't be held to that apparently. And then I have grand plans, and then what I really do is usually whole different ball game. I thought I'll work on a whole bunch of stuff 3 days each. And so then I pulled out this, and after 3 days I wasn't done. So I thought I'll work on it just for the week, just till Sunday. And then like Tuesday through Sunday, because on Monday I did, besides mermaids, maybe in the afternoon, and the bunnies in the evening. I thought I'd be doing back to the bunnies come Monday evening, but I didn't. I just kept going on this because sometimes that's the thing. That's why I like a whole month to work on a project, is I don't get my full satisfaction in that shorter time. I just dropped a thread and needle. So last call, I'm going to stand up with this one even. Last time this is where I had done over to this green book. So now I'm doing both green books, which is the end for this side and the start of this side, although technically this is the start, but I had done this center unit as a whole unit, and then I started making my way along the bookshelf. So this is a small one, this is a pretty big one, and then I think when I'm done with that, I'll put it away again, I think. I like working on it. It's big. I'd like it to be done, but I'm not there yet. I'd say after these 2 books, I'll be like 2/3 of the way done. I've just been working on it for a bunch of years. So in 2024, I'd really like to finish it. So generally, I can do in a month of dedicated work, I can get 3 books done. So that would be 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Previously, I'd managed 4 books in a month, but then I started doing the background. So if I want to keep up with that, I need to do books and background all in one shot. So these 3, I don't know. We'll see, because these 2 maybe, because these are going to share colors. So I don't know. Don't listen to me. That's boring. So anyway, Kingdom of Books I've made some serious progress on it. And then let's talk about WhipGo pulls for July. I cannot find one of them, although I had it in my hand yesterday, so it's here. Let me just grab a thing. So yesterday, I didn't even do it on this. It's in one of these kind of bags, so I know that, but it's in a small one, so it's gotten lost in the shuffle. But it is, don't mind me. I was looking to see what was running past the window. A bird. The rooster and the hens, which is a little house pattern, I started eons ago and just worked on like one little time. I'm gonna have to put a picture here. I think there's not even a picture in my X Stitch app, so if I can't lay my hands on the actual project bag in the next, I don't know, hour before I start uploading, maybe I'm gonna have to grab one off the internet. But that's a July call, and there's no reason why that one can't be finished. The other July call is not this one. Oh, this one is there were 3 calls this month because they chose 13 was pulled, and whenever 13, the free space on a bingo board, she picks another one. Jessie Marie does stuff. Facebook page for WhipGo. she does the pulls on the 25th of the month for the following month. So anyway, she pulled 13, which means she pulls two more. My 13 is a new start. So that's one of the pulls. And then the other one was my 8x8, which it was sort of my adaptation of the 12x12 that like Pam of Just Keep Stitching was. She and somebody else created that and start one thing an hour on New Year's Eve from noon until midnight. And there's no way I could do that. So the first year I did 8 small things. So from noon till 8, worked on them each an hour. And that worked out pretty well. This year I tried it again and I hated it. Like, I don't know. I'm not the only one. So at any rate, these were the things that I managed to complete. Between New Year's Eve and maybe a little bit of time, and it may have been a whip go pull once already. So this was one of them. Finished. These are all on Weeks Dye Works. I think whatever's called for. It's the gingham. That's Weeks, although it doesn't look like the gingham in this here light. This light. This was another one. It's probably my favorite, I think. So far that was 4. I changed the color of the barn. That's 4 I managed to finish, plus one more. Oh, where is it? I think I took it out of here. So you'll just have to live in suspense. It was the reindeer from one of the owners of Hobby House. So I finished that, and I don't know where it is, except maybe I put it away in the finishing. I don't think I FFO'd it. I don't know. So this is the last 3. These are the 3 that are not even started yet. I'm hoping that there's no excuse for those to be finished in the month of July. So I have the fabric is all serged and ready to go. I have pieces of 28 count natural linen, light linen. So it's nothing all that exciting. I have it in one of my Lori Holt bags where she sells like a panel of these bags and then these cool zippers that close in the middle, which is fun, and the fabric is fun. But what I do not like, and I wish maybe I'd known that when I was making them, is I don't like how floppy they are, because nothing is like quilted or, have any fusible binding in it or anything. Fusible binding. Oh my gosh. You'd think I hadn't slept. Fusible batting in it. So I was giving thought to actually attempting to get something applied to the back, and whether I can mostly quilt it, just to add some stability to it. It's kind of annoying how floppy they are. They don't stand up in a box full of projects. So it's kind of, like I said, not making me happy, but I have 8 of them. So it'd be nice if they were functional. So my 8x8 is all together in one bag, except for the reindeer, which I don't know where that went. I remember showing it and talking about it. So I'm thinking I put it away maybe in my bin of shame, which I know. Don't even go there. Don't want to. Oh, look, here it is. Sorry. It was in its own project bag, inside the project bag. Dancer. Prancer. It's Prancer. I stitched it on a piece of, I'd had this for ages. What do you call it when it's shiny? Oh my God, seriously. You're going to tell me to go back to bed. It's a one-off from way a million years ago when I was in the Needleworkers Delight Fabric of the Month Club, and I was in the Surprise Me. And so this was I don't want to say a one-off, but they were not part of their, like, this was not part of their regular line. Probably there's a thing in here. Silk Weaver, solo dyed, unique hand dyed fabrics, opalescent Lugana, 28 count. So it doesn't even officially have a name because it's a solo, as they called it. So it really came out pretty. I thought I got this brainiac idea to buy something shiny to do the snowflakes with, and after doing two, I thought I was going to wad the whole thing up and throw it away. So I pulled them out, and I'm not doing that. Nope. We'll let the opalescent fabric speak for itself. So 8x8 should be a finish, and I won't be doing that again. I did like that it let me start I could start anything I want whenever I want. But it starts some of the smalls, and I tend not to start smalls. That's the thing, is when I want to start something, I want it to be like one of my mammoth projects, because I really like to just, something very meaty to dive into. So, anyway, I get a new start, because square 13 on the WhipGo board was a new start. So what thing am I starting? A big thing? Nope. I decided I would start something that maybe I could finish, because then July would be epic finish. All things would be finished. So I had just recently bought this and kitted it up, Seaside Tiny Town. Bought all the threads. It takes a lot. And I have a piece of Morris Blue, 30 count. It's a scrap I found was somewhere because I didn't even serge it. And look at that edge. So I don't know what else is done on this, although it could well be. Nope, the tag says 13 by 17, so something was done on it, and this was the leftover. I will probably serge that lovely edge to get that squared away. No idea currently what's on the other part of this. Something somewhere along the line. Yeah, I can't even remember working on 30 count. So let's talk about Seaside Tiny Town. Much like Live on Little, which, you live on a lake. Decor, the desire is to have it more lake-like. So my lake does not have a lighthouse, but lakes do. So lighthouse can stay. We sure got seagulls. We don't have any crabs. Here's the object we definitely don't have. So I'm liable to take this little part out along with the crab, put the houses closer together, and then the whale on the weather vane goes. Here on weather vanes, you'll see a fish or you'll see a sailboat. So I'm going to look through my other little patterns and see what I have that I would put up there. Ours is a fish, I think, on our house. You'd think I'd know. I think it's a fish. It's not a sailboat. I wish it was a sailboat, but I think it's a fish. So I think that'll be cute. Minus the pelican. If I was in Florida, the pelicans are fun to watch. That'd be a whole different thing. So I'm a lakeside tiny town more than a seaside tiny town. So, and then let's talk about Live on Little, which I haven't started yet, but it's here. It's kitted up. The new one that she was released to, I think, Farm Girls Retreat. That's the one I really want to do. American Sampler. So I can't get my hands on that for another year. And I wished I knew about it. And then maybe I wouldn't have bought Live on Little. Because that American Sampler is much more the style I would really enjoy. So we'll just have to wait. All right, so those are the things that's my WhipGo plans. And then let's talk about what I have been purchasing and or kitting up, because that's what I do. So, a couple years ago, I was in the Black Needle Society's. I wasn't in it. I got the Advent box, and in there, I think even on the last day, this was the big present on the last day, were two hanks of silk. This one I have took apart because I needed to see it on the fabric. I need to, more than just see it on the fabric. So first, let me just say, I've been searching for a couple years for the right monochromatic pattern for it. So I'm going to have to insert a picture here of a new long dog sampler. The one that as soon as I saw it, I knew it was what I would do with this silk. I will do the top and bottom section in the solid, and then the middle section, it's called Lady Garden. The middle section in this variegated. So yesterday I was going through and pulling out fabric, and I pulled out this piece of Lakeside linen, vintage magnolia, I think it is. I saved all the pieces and parts, and I think they're I don't know where, over on my cutting board. So I have this, and I think I'm going to do that. It's just very, very subtly a creamy color. It's very beautiful. That this light is not going to let you see nicely. So I put this on there. Now you can't just do that and make sure your color works. You have to separate out just the two threads. So what two threads look like. If you look at all of this, you're just looking at too much of a concentration of colors that may not show up like that. And even in the 6 strands, it may be more color concentration than you're really going to see on your fabric. So yesterday I was spreading out, making sure that the little sections that are almost white don't get lost. There's one that's more white and there's one that's more cream, but both of them seem to show okay. This, being silk, has a bit more luster than the fabric does, so I'm hoping that will show up nicely. I don't really think I want to have to cut all that out, but 2 hanks, and that piece is 205 by 242, so I could really stitch like, I don't know, 10 of them and still have some of my silk left over. So today I am going to take my handy dandy floss measuring stick, this is the company that apparently makes it, Color Crafted. I bought it at Hobby House. So I'm going to do all my silk onto this, but I wanted to be able to show you the hanks. And I was going through my cupboard the other day, and I found these cards that there was no hole in the middle, so I wasn't really sure how you were supposed to attach your floss to it. So I said to my husband, can we, this one's off center. I don't know, they might all be slightly off center. You got a drill? Can we, drill a hole? So long story short, we used the drill press. And so it was hard to position it exactly right because there's a lot of clamping things down and clamping down the wood we rested them on. But I think these will be really perfect for there's only 6 of them here. Perfect for, maybe there's only 5 to hang that silk off of. So they're kind of fun. Yeah. Oops, this one's backwards. So I'm going to do that, and this will be ready to start, should I start it. And then the other one that I ran across recently was patterned by Sarah. Sarah, and her last name is starts with a G, and it's something very, I don't know, not a language I can pronounce. And it was called Summer Sampler. I'll put a picture. It's a PDF, so I don't have a thing to show you. And I was going through, I wanted a piece of sand to stitch it on. I think that's a Lakeside linen, but none of my sand were big enough, and I have more fabric than I will probably ever use, so I'm not buying more. So I was going through and I came across this piece of beach walk, which is an under the sea fabric. And again, I don't know how the color's working out. I thought this would be really nice. Summer sampler is 278 by 263, so it's needed more than a fat quarter. So this piece is, I think, 28 count, because it's sort of my sweet spot, because I can see it usually. 32 count, 32 count. So I pulled the threads. I need to go shopping for 2 more threads. So I really think these will work nice on a piece of beach walk, which is kind of a sandy plus the blue. So I'm thinking I might start that this month. I'm actually thinking about starting a lot of things. I think about it, whether I do it or not, 2 totally different things. So lots of things going on, sewing wise, and I'm going to be looking nonstop today for where the heck the rooster and the hens went. I was spreading out a lot of fabric and doing blah blahs and whatevers, and I was adding tags to all my bags. I don't think any of those bags down there have the tags on them, but just those silver tags that have paper in the middle. I don't know, get them at Staples or whatever. Because as I'm looking for things, I'm always having to unzip the bag, and I have had those tags. I just wasn't really good about adding them to the bag, and if it doesn't have the plastic front, then I can't really see what's in it. So I don't know where, like I said, rooster and the hens went. It's got to be here somewhere, because, you know. And that's it, I think. July will be an interesting month. We're expecting a baby this month, as I've told you before. So I will be on hand a little bit when that arrival happens. Our hospital here, the hospital where the delivery will happen, still does not allow any visitors in the hospital, which I think has gone beyond. Nobody wants COVID. Nobody wants a baby to have COVID. It doesn't allow any visitors on the maternity floor. And I was saying that to a friend who's actually a doctor, and she said, oh, I just delivered a baby in whatever other hospital in the area, and she said they allow other people, and I'm like, not this one. I think they just maybe are enjoying the no drama on the maternity floor. So I don't really know, but that's going to be hard for that little stretch of time. But then once the baby's home. And then we have a wedding the first weekend of August. So I don't know when I'll get to do a video. Maybe as the waiting game goes on, I'll be doing one prior to the end of the month. Or who knows? Who knows how it's going to work out. So, big stuff. Big stuff happening. Nothing else I can think of. I mean, I've read some books, but nothing I want to really elaborate on. I keep forgetting to mention, I have a new email address, which I don't share my email address unless there's a reason, or somebody who's a friend and we email back and forth. But anybody who maybe did have my email address and sometimes emailed me, that email is not being used anymore. That AOL email. So I know it's like such an old lady thing, AOL. My kids were like, you need to get rid of that. You need to change it, which I don't really, whatever. So I did. And it took a long time. It took probably 6 months at least. And now I have just totally disconnected it from any of my devices. So I have to actually log into AOL and then go to mail to see what's all accumulated in there, mostly junk. So I have not done that in probably 2 weeks. So anyway, if you're wondering why I haven't written you back, you can send me a comment or something on here, or if you follow me on Instagram. And that's about it. Summer can be like, mostly it's outdoor time, except for when it's smoky and rainy. We've had some serious rains. No complaints. We needed it. We were getting in the drought situation, which is what's contributed to the wildfires, is how dry it is. Yeah, and that's about it. Yeah. So I heard the washer shut off, so I have to go move those things around and wait for the contractor, and then we'll be good to go. So happy July, everybody. Hi Flosstube, Future Pam here. I'm making a quick video to add to the end of the video that you just watched to sort of fill in some of the blanks I left. I was ready to start editing and inserting pictures and it was a little bit crazy. And you know, the pictures are just like so short on screen and so on. So let's just do this and we'll put it at the end instead of chopping it up and putting it where I said I would put things. I found my roosters and the hens, of course. It was on my ironing board, but it was under something I didn't think I had touched. So it's a little house, needleworks, and way back, when the housewives used to stitch things other than their own designs, they stitched, one of them stitched this, probably Chelsea, and they finished it in the cutest box, and I bought the box and I got the pattern and I've not stitched it. I worked one quick day on it. There she blows on a random piece of something natural, neutral. So I expect, unless some shattering, big, exciting thing happens, I should be able to finish that, like I said before. And then my other piece that's a contender to be started that I picked out fabric for, with the Under the Sea fabric, is this. Summer Sampler. And it's by Sarah Gormani. And she prints out, when you buy a PDF, your name is on that pattern. It's on every page of that pattern. Isn't that beautiful? Just my style. Just my style. And then I printed out my Long Dog sampler, the Lady Garden. It says down here, it's a limited. Does that mean anything? It could be an incorporation sort of name, you know, like so-and-so limited. I don't think this is in the United States. As opposed to this pattern feeling like it could be a limited pattern, like it won't be available forever. I really don't know how that works. So I thought I would do in the deeper purple, or the rich, you know, the purple, these, and then in the variegated, this. I really liked that. I won't put my initials in, maybe, probably. I don't know. I don't care for my initials. So I might have to find something else to fill that in with, because up here, they're filled, like the shape. This is smaller than what's up here. But I don't know. There's a lot of options. Maybe I'll sneak a sailboat in there. Just kidding. Just kidding. That's a joke. That's a joke. Okay, and then between the first video and this video, when my electrician is out to lunch, so I'm going to sneak in here because there's no time in the future. I got an order from Grammy's. Oh, heck. Heck. All right, let's look. Let me look, because I have sent you to this Etsy shop before, and I love going there. I love finding myself at this store. She sells used charts or never used, you know, destashing type things. And, oh, let's get it right. Wow, there's a lot of information. Grammy Stitching Place. I'll put it below, I think. But I'm going to show you on here. I'm not going to show you on here. They're three separate words, but they're all strung together one, because it's Etsy. Grammy Stitching Place. I'll try to put it below. Today's just not working out. My office might not be accessible for me to get to a other computer other than my iPad. So anyway, I found myself perusing, because that's a dangerous thing, and I found this pattern, ice boating. Never have I seen this pattern. It's very reminiscent of the Charles Wysocki village scenes. Oh. I bought this one because I hemmed and hawed and passed it up, and then I bought it. It's just the pattern, not the kit. I really have always been fond of teddy bears, but now that young people are starting to enter my life, it's a distinct possibility that I will need to stitch a teddy bear, and that's a pretty one. Mine, it's a boy. To me, it's a Boyd's bear. No guarantee that that's correct. It reminds me of the Boyd's bears, and I have maybe half a dozen of them. And then I found a Marjolaine Baston. Oh, how I love hers. I have not ever stitched any. I believe I have kitted up one of them. The Seasons one, maybe summer. Also giant. Anyway, so there's my little, correct all my whatever in the past. And I wanted to show you this. I'm in my kitchen, sitting at the peninsula, facing into my kitchen. If you're in my kitchen, you face out into the breakfast area, which was once upon a time a porch, a screened-in porch. So I have to show you, to touch the window. Can you see? That's the smoke. That's the smoke hanging over our lake on a bright sunny day. Where it is burned off, it's a bright blue sky, but not over the lake. The lake is holding on to it. So how's that for a pleasant day? And this is way better than it was this morning. So still dangerous, still in the danger zone to be outside breathing it. So again, we're experiencing nothing compared to what other people experience. Just showing you, because maybe you're not so lucky. I don't know. So I got some great things. I am mostly on call for the electrician because now he's working in the living room, and so there's lots of input. He's not doing like the behind the scenes things downstairs in the utility room. So mostly I'm just wasting time. Not getting all tucked into my stitchy chair. I am reading a book occasionally, casually. So yeah, that's it. I don't know what else I'm doing all day. I'm hoping he's done by, I don't know. It's not looking good. Not looking good for lunchtime. I've done all the busy work I can do. So anywho, happy 4th of July, everybody. If you're in the United States, if you're somewhere where you celebrate anything that has to do with Independence Day, for us it's July 4th. And my daughter's birthday is also the July 4th weekend. So that's fun. She's not so amused because she doesn't like fireworks. But she likes summer lake fun. So the 4th of July weekend is a great weekend at the lake. So there we are. Yeah, have a good one.